Thule, the island of Thule. Yes, that island. Now, Thule has more than 100 inhabitants that were forcibly relocated, and the people there were given days to leave after the Danish authorities. Greenland was ruled by the Danes until 1979, who had struck up a deal allowing America, deep state, to set up a top secret base on that island. Now, the US government established an anti-aircraft missile artillery unit, but no nuclear warheads were ever permitted, so they said anyway. And that site was strategically selected because of its location between Moscow and Washington, D.C. No surprise there. Another NATO-led operation. Now, the unexpected arrival of American soldiers is said to have caused the people of Thule great distress. These people were the Inuit community, as they had to scramble to find a new spot of land. They didn't even give them another place to go. And they spent around 7 months living in tents in frigid temperatures, with some succumbing to the bitter cold. It's absolutely disgusting. Now, eventually the Inuit people found a spot that was 65 miles away with similar hunting opportunities, and they named the new settlement New Thule, or Quanach. But walking around the old Thule and the Inuits' abandoned village, the reporter stated, had a rather haunted feeling, and it was a mixture of renovated wooden homes now used by the airbase personnel for weekend breaks. Really? So they threw people who have lived there for hundreds, maybe thousands of years, so they can have missiles and weekend breaks. Unbelievable. But not a surprise. There are several contentious topics of debate that have been presented to us on a regular basis recently, of divide and conquer, be it the alt media and also the portal people. Of course, we had the Black Lives Matter promoting the split between blacks and other colours, the transgender and the LBQT movement promoting gender divide and conquer, and we had the male-female agenda promoting a further split. Immigrants, illegal or not, is further dividing and conquering, and until people grasp you cannot be an immigrant, illegal or otherwise, on your own planet for source sake. Then we have the anti-Muslim, anti-Russians, anti-Chinese promoting divide and conquer fear programs, guns and no guns, wall or no wall, even Trump or no Trump. The list is endless to an observer, not so much if you mire yourself in the middle of it and you wonder why you struggle to make sense of it. Mired in the middle of it, you only see the trees. An overview observer sees the forest. So it was only a matter of time before the next divisive piece was rolled out, and in pops the band of divide and conquer experts masquerading under the illusion of being Democrats. Smoke and mirrors, folks. And the new one is abortion. Now, we in this group all know why the extension of the timing of abortions is being brought forward. Yes, it's to facilitate the various uses they have for fetuses and their dark ritual stuff that they are all embroiled in. But you have to remember, the cabal never put things forward for one purpose only. It's always 3 or 4 reasons. So let's leave the ritualistic aspect out of it, as that has been well covered in previous shows. They know this will generate reactions in the alternative media. It's designed that way. Why? To throw you off balance. Common theme tonight, is it not? Into anger-based irrational thinking processes as too many of you are now working them and their game out. That's why they're doing it. It's the pure and simple answer. And next we will come to the ever-increasing non-logic of contradictory statements, because too many of us don't get a basic understanding of what we are saying, or writing for that matter. We don't critical think enough. This is a key problem that plagues many around the world. You don't ask the right questions. Narratives based on books in the last century, going back to 2,000 years ago, form a basis of not our thinking process, but their thinking program for us. A woman, not a man, or the government, or the law, carries a child round in her body for around 9 months. But many people think they have an opinion. Well, actually, it's not their opinion, it's the consensus of others, is it not? Steered by faceless people in think tank groups. That somehow they have the right and the opinion to pass judgments and decide whether that woman has the right or otherwise to decide her and her child's destiny, is the gist of it. Many complain over the big brother society we now have, and yet don't realise it. It is they who are the big brother. The system only creates the idea, but it is we who manifest and carry out that program by not thinking enough. Who gave anyone the right to decide whether a mother is allowed to terminate her child or not? What next? The people decide who eats or not? Well, that's already happened, as not enough people care about the ones with no food. Or the people who railed against the Nestle CEO saying water is not a human right, and yet never think for 1 second of the day, week or month about the 40% of people who don't have access to clean water. You're beginning to see how and why now. And I say, most of the world's issues are not down to the cabal, but ourselves. They produce the game, but we play it. They produce 2 fake politician candidates, and we vote for them. Was Hillary or Trump your actual choices? No. Recognise the pattern and you will see the problems, and then work on the solutions. But a word of caution, you will not see the patterns mired inside of the narrative, like the trees and like the forest. Where do I stand on abortion in general? Not that my opinion is any more important than yours, except perhaps I think more deeper on things than most. In my opinion, it's solely the woman's choice what she does with her body. Taking that away plays into contradictory thinking many possess without realising it. And to support that statement, this last sentence brings it home. The one thing that is forgotten too easily in all of this comes down to one word that has resonated many times out of this group due to connections with the Manor World Holding Trust. Sovereignty. Many demanding our sovereignty. And yet where is the sovereignty for the mother with a child? Like I said at the top piece, contradictory statements, a lack of thinking. Think long and hard on this piece of what you're asking for or what you're portraying. It's always the mother's choice, or it should be. Asking the government or a man or the law to step in is not sovereignty. The mother and a child is a precious thing. We men are not privy to that bonding. A mother in this group lost her child today, a few years back. this next song is for her.